There's a lot of stuff going on in politics, especially racial politics, and uh, you know, the old impression is that there's some kind of a tension between the races. But uh, I will touch something today that it's a little bit off the major path, and there is another aspect of racial relations. So here we go. Hello, guys. Interesting stuff. The North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. That's what I was looking into because they're in business of one of the programs that have South Africa, Angola, Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, Botswana, and the places where my mother worked, and I have a suspicion about her demise is because she knew what's going on there 40 years ago. So one of the, as I said, one of the universities here in North Carolina, I was making once a video about black masonry and kind of interesting stuff. But what I discovered is that the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and this North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University have the same motto. What means to have motto in masonry is somehow those places are on the same business, some kind of same interest. So what I'm looking at, I know people who are from North Carolina. I know people who actually may affect my pay. I know that some of them are Masons or brothers, fraternity brothers, how you call it, which is nothing else but Masonry. And the way I know it, it's really, really interesting point. I had a video before that a lot of people who try to steal my father's research encounter in their lives MIT. They either finished MIT or had connections of some kind, and then they ended up working for places that actually use my father's research. Now we're talking about North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State College, University, sorry. And what do we have here? And as I said, I repeat, I know people that worked and that worked with me in the past that are from this North Carolina University, and the some of them I think actually affected my kind of in the way maybe well-being at work. So let's do this fast insert. I had situations that were really awkward, and not just that, some of those situations had really, really bad sign of gangstalking, okay? And some of the people who were involved were from I would say from a management that affects my daily routine, work, and income. Actually, unfortunately, some of them left. I was ready to call them on it. With suspicious death of my mother, actually, I wanted to ask them for some kind of specific actions they did in the past. And by some kind of a mystical reason, like as when I was ready to do that, they all were out of my proximity. And it's been a while. It's been a year and something. But the other thing is that some of them were in connection with the companies that got my father's research. And from outside, there is no connection. But actually, when you look and you encounter those people, you can see connections. And so, as I said, it's interesting thing for the future to look at. This is just a short video I made from screen recording. North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, historically black, Greensboro, North Carolina. And it has interesting motto. To remind me of something, this is Agricultural and Mechanical College for the Colored Race. This is one of the names in the past, but the motto here is really interesting. Mens and manus in Latin, which is mind and hand. Again, it shows public, historically black university. And this logo motto reminds me of MIT University in Massachusetts, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, which is really interesting. Massachusetts Technology, see it here. It's called motto in English, man and manus. It's in Latin, mind and hand. Interesting, absolutely identical. Which brings me to another thing. Well, the thing is that but for generations, the MIT in Massachusetts Institute of Technology was predominantly white and Catholic, I think. And this one in North Carolina is black university. And now, there is a thing going on, kind of I wouldn't say confrontation, but really big in a way contrast. And people put an accent on this on this contrast that, well, there are blacks. There are, we blacks don't have much stuff to do with whites because this is because of the racial situations and the former slavery. But actually, in some cases, when you deal with masonry, old masonry, it can be ignored. It means black and white can do same business. And it was proven in South Africa during the apartheid years. The apartheid years, which apartheid was separation of races, but when South Africa, white population, and South Africa's black population had a threat of invasion of several countries, the border war in Angola and Namibia. So there were Soviets, there were Cubans, and there were Angola, Communist Party, okay? So blacks in South Africa and whites in South Africa had an agreement to deal with outsiders their own specific way. So they fought them back. So it's not something unusual if there is a common interest between blacks and whites, one of the side of East Coast MIT and here in black areas. And don't forget that since Jim Crow, or even earlier, the black masonry is created mostly in North Carolina, Greensboro, and if not mistaken, Greenville as well, when blacks decided not to sell the land that they were given. This way, they organized enclaves, strongholds of black masonry. This way, they would go there, black groups go there, and they will create the plans for things, and they can talk, they can communicate, they can exchange, make plans, and then leave. Like, for instance, they can leave from South North Carolina, for instance, to go to Oklahoma and organize a church there or something. But actually, it can be, part of the bigger groups of churches. Okay, and this way, it's one game. It doesn't matter black you are or white. This is, as I said, it was proven in South Africa, and then it collapsed on itself, and blacks won at the time because they restarted the war against whites in South Africa. Okay, so and demolished apartheid, and Mandela came, and this is it pretty much. But it's not something new. If there is outside interest, okay, that is getting involved into situations that two sides are have the same interest in, there will be no compromise of cooperation, right? So if somebody tells you, well, we don't know, they're all whites, we don't talk to them, it can be bullshit, or just the opposite. That also blacks, we don't deal with blacks, but actually they do. You know what I mean? It's like good and bad cop on the same thing. So that's what it is for now. I will look further in this thing, because, as I said, I'm investigating my mother's death, and I have but she was not an enemy of black or white. She lived in the United States for 40 years, but she worked in Angola, and her last husband worked in Kenya, which Kenya, they're kind of a center for the entire region. They become like a new capital of South of Africa, And this is, I think, one of the reasons my mother knew something, and that's why she died. That's why I'm digging, and I'm gonna keep digging. Sorry, guys. You got me into this. I came here to take care of my dead mother. You robbed me. You robbed me. You robbed me of my apartment. I'm losing my apartment. You tried to humiliate me. You poisoned me. So, you invited me for this shit.